Painting the details on his face, I'm using a 000 brush. You can see it's a very fine brush. And I'm mixing all the paint with this Vallejo glaze medium. It just kind of extends the dry time of the paint. And I'm also mixing in a little bit of water if needed. So I did the eyes and the teeth. I started with this Pro Acryl Bright Neutral Gray, a 1-to-1 mix with the glaze medium. Then for the gums, I did the Pro Acryl Burnt Red, same mixture, 1-to-1. And then I did a 75% glaze medium and 25% of this olive flesh and went over top of everything. So I'm going to let this dry, and then I'll come back in and put in a little more detail. Then I'll come back and show you what he looks like. I took that burnt red and mixed it mostly with water, and I put a drop on the outside of the eye and on the inside of the eye to kind of give, you know, where the tear ducts are, and then some sense of some flesh in there. And then to mark my eyes, I just took a .03 pencil, mechanical pencil, and marked where I wanted the eyes to be. So I'm going to go in and paint the eyes, and then I'll come back and show you what it looks like. For his eyes, I'm using the black brown Pro Acryl. And what I did is I took a toothpick and I sharpened the point, the tip, and then just dip it in and then dot it on the eye. You get a pretty good circle. I'm still not too happy with where the teeth are right now, but I'm going to leave that alone for now and come back to it. So now I'm ready to move on to the next step. While I still had some of that black brown on the palette, I went ahead and gave him some eyebrows, and I went ahead and filled in his hair. That's just the first layer. I will be going over the hair because there's still a lot more to do on this kit, but I was liking where everything was at right now, so I went ahead and I sealed the face and the hair with some matte finish. So I got a lot more to do, so I'm going to work some more on this and then I'll be back. What I'm doing now is I'm taking some of that dark camo green and a little bit of glaze medium and a whole lot of water, and I'm taking that 000 brush and I'm glazing it like this. You can see how thin that is, and then I'll feather it out with just straight water. So I'm slowly going over and building up the shadows. And then after I get the shadows done, then I'll come in and start building up the highlights. So I'll keep working on these shadows, and when I get it to where I want it, I'll come back and show you what it looks like. I'm done with the skin shadows for now. I changed up my shadow formula. I did 3 drops of this glaze medium, then I did 3 drops of the dark camo green, and then 1 drop of this dark blue, and then that mixture became 1-to-1 with water. So with that mixture I put in that much more water. So I'm liking where this is at. I also worked on the feet. So right now it's at a point where I want to stop on the skin shadows, and I want to set up and start working on the shadows for the pants. So I'll get that set up and I'll be back. I've already been working on the shadows on the pants here. What I'm using is the mahogany, and I'm using glaze medium. I'm doing it a little bit different than I did the skin because I wasn't really liking the way it was working with the skin. It was drying too fast. So what I've done is I've also mixed in some of this airbrush flow improver just like a couple of drops, then a couple of drops of the mahogany, and then a couple of drops of the glazed medium. But I've also put glazed medium on the side. So like if I want to do this shadow right here, I'm just going to take straight glazed medium, and I'm just going to cover this whole shadow area here with this glazed medium. And then I'm going to take just a little bit of my mahogany and I'm going to drop it in there. And then I'm going to clean my brush, and then I'm going to start moving it around. And this does give me more dry time. And I just kind of keep moving it around, feathering the edges out. I also have a Q-tip just in case I need to remove some of it. Just a little bit of some water. Just kind of feather out those edges. Alright, I'll keep working on this, and when I get it done, I'll be back. Doing the highlights on the skin, doing the same thing I did with the pants. I'm using bright yellow green, and then I'm mixing it with the glazed medium just a little bit, and then of course having the glazed medium separate and going back and forth and feathering everything out. So I've done a lot of work on the body, starting to get all those muscle tones to pop the way I want them. Let me put the pants on here. I still have to do his legs and feet, but he's really starting to get there, starting to look really good. So I'm going to work on the highlights and finish him up, but I'm going to do that off camera. Part 4, I'll have him all done and ready to go on the base. So part 4, I'll be working on the base. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing, and I'll see you for part 4.